Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa. We continue for today. Today, the Odesa region is being visited by Yulia Laputina, Minister of Veteran Affairs of Ukraine, and we are happy to have her with us in the Media Center. What is the aim of your visit? Good afternoon. This is a business trip, and we meet with the representatives of veteran organizations, with the regional and local authorities to discuss veteran policy. And it will have a new content after our victory, and that's why we need now to do everything possible to form the basis for specific policies to meet our warriors back home as veterans in all cities, towns, villages. The state should do everything possible to provide the proper toolkit for our veterans to be reintegrated after the war. As far as I understand, after the 24th of February last year, you've seen an increased volume of work, and what are you going to develop more? On the 24th of February 2022, the electronic register of veterans that we created in the ministry, we have around 500,000 of servicemen and servicewomen, our veterans, people with disabilities as a result of war, and the member of families of deceased heroes. After our victory, we expect 4 million people related to veteran affairs, including those who directly was informed in military activity, the families and of the deceased heroes, etc. But we understand that now there is a dramatically different need compared to the situation before the 24th of February 2022, namely the support of those who have their relatives in the combat zone. We have started the pilot project in 4 regions, and we share this information at our meetings with the Odesa region, this Lviv, Mykolaiv, Dnipro, and Vinnytska regions where we will have this pilot project. This is the institute to support veterans. Simply speaking, someone should meet people coming from the front line, because there can be different situations like closed companies, factories, or the family that left abroad. There can be damaged houses. So someone should support veterans. Someone should meet veterans literally at the bus or railway station, providing them with accommodation, and also to share information about where they can get services, consultations, and information in general. So such person will support and will assist veterans after they come back from the combat zone. So we don't have the town cities where there is no war, because shelling covers the whole territory of Ukraine. And when people, when servicemen and service women, they come back on vacation from the front line, they can be upset when seeing open restaurants, cafes, because they are there at the front line, and people at home front still have some common civilian life. Of course, this situation is clear, because our servicemen and servicewomen are there to protect, to defend the whole of Ukraine, for people to be able to live their normal lives, for children to go to schools. That's why that institution of assistance to veterans is created basing on the following principles. The candidates will be selected from among veterans or among relatives of families who have veterans. So we're looking for people who care about veterans, who have been there, and who understand the veteran policy. Of course, they should be in touch with the relevant social and healthcare institutions to be able to provide full support to our veterans. Such assistance should also have the information about possible integration in civil life for veterans, and also to offer possibility to veterans to undergo training with the aim of further employment. We will have such assistance at the community level, at the level of rayons. The responsible communal service will be responsible for monitoring such activity of assistance, and at the regional level it is offered to create a separate directorate or department for veteran affairs, because here we speak about the policy of integration of people who were involved in military activity. So this is the management of the resources in the area of defense and safety and security. Because before the full-scale invasion started, no one cared about life of people after they returned from the front line. There were no tools for people to be integrated back into the society to feel a full-scale, a fully fledged citizen. So now we are introducing a program that will help veterans with their transition from their military life to civilian life to civilian jobs. We will collect information about the jobs, knowledge, and skills of the people who will be demobilized, and will also collect information about how many jobs there are in different regions, especially after our victory. At the level of at the regional level, the leading authorities will have the veteran development centers where people will get possibility to quickly retrain to get civilian jobs, and our final objective is employment. And employment means that the person will be able to work, will be able to receive salary, and also to pay taxes to the regional budgets for the gradual recovery of our economy. Thank you. Are there any questions from our colleagues? They're still thinking, so I have a question. The question about the competence about your ministry in terms of the medical support processes, and also the possible increase of the financial compensation, which is provided from the budget to process. I can say that this is directly controlled by the Prime Minister of Ukraine, and this is in the area of responsibility of the Ministry of Social Policy, and together with the Ministry of Health, they work to solve the issue. But we also have a working group, and we understand that if we are not able to update and to make amendments to the existing system of medical care, then we could not be successful. So it is also very important to digitize this area, which is quite problematic in the area of defense, but a lot has been done. We have worked with the military units. And one of the reason is that there are delays in certifying the conditions of injuries and wounds for military and medical commissions. And this is an obstacle to the follow-up issues, because a doctor can see a wound or an injury, but if there are delays in receiving status of a person with disabilities, then there are issues with proving that the person was injured during the war, because there are different social packages envisaged for people with disabilities that have been injured in the combat zone or during the war. So the number of military medical commissions have been increased all over Ukraine, involving civilian hospitals into the process. Recently, we visited the Dnipro region, and we met there with medical units. This is a frontline region. They have a lot of wounded soldiers, and the increased amount of military medical commissions will gradually decrease queues. But our final objective is to transition to paperless flow, and also to make it easier for our veterans and soldiers, and we hope to solve the issue in the nearest future. Don't forget to introduce yourself and to turn on the mic. Good afternoon. My name is Irina Suchkovska, Suspilna, Odesa. Can you tell us, please, what are social integration programs for veterans there in Ukraine, in region, and in particular in Odesa? Thank you. In Odesa, there are a lot of veteran initiatives. There are veteran hubs, and we have the territorial unit. We have already created support packages for veterans for them to be integrated into economy of Ukraine. We have created the Ukrainian Veteran Fund. This is a state institution supporting different projects. One of them envisages the support of veteran entrepreneurship initiatives. Initiative last year we had 3 competitions to provide grants to veterans from $500,000 to $1.5 million, and these funds are quite substantial to support veteran businesses that were established at least 2 years ago. And one of the initiatives in Odessa was supported by the Veteran Fund. This is Veterana Pizza, the establishment of new branch of that network. We know that there are other veteran initiatives in Odessa. In our Veteran Fund, we are providing now the grant support to NGOs supporting veterans, and the competition is ongoing. And we, together with one more fund, have opened a new grant program for $1.5 million for veterans in agribusiness. The next question, please. Irina Diak, Teleradio and TV Studio Breeze. I have the following question to you. A lot of veterans, after our victory, will have no place to come back, and perhaps they will refuse to live in those areas that have been almost completely destroyed. Would you support their accommodation in other regions of Ukraine? The accommodation issue was important even before the full-scale invasion. In our Ministry of Veteran Affairs, they have been implementing 4 decrees related to veteran accommodation and housing for the people with disabilities as a result of the first and second group, for soldiers that were involved in anti-terrorist operation and are at the same time of IDPs. These are the heroes of Heavenly Hundreds and those who participated in the Revolution of Dignity. As for the budget for this year, we were supported by the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, that we need to solve the issue with accommodation. We've got 5.5 billion hryvnias as a part of the budget. This is in the form of subvention to the local authorities that shall be used by the end of the year according to the needs of local authorities. The queue should be formed by regions, and we can allocate fund according to needs. A person can open an account in a bank to receive funds to buy houses, apartments by the end of the year. We understand that a lot of servicemen and servicewomen have moved to another region, not where they are registered. That's why the subvention can be used in any area of Ukraine where they are residing at the moment. And we understand that because of the war, the situation can change. The period used to be during 1 year. So if a person was not able to buy accommodation during a house, the money was returned to the budget. But now the situation is different. We have prolonged this period for half a year more. We have already discussed with communities that we will be developing new modern tools together with communities with regard to housing, and the Ministry of Veteran Affairs will be searching for potential donors, and local communities will in their turn look for and find the premises that could be repaired, for example, as a part of PPP, to rebuild those buildings, to provide them for accommodation to our servicemen and servicewomen. Irina, the floor is yours. Quite often, we hear that if the person is disappointed with something, people say that our guys from the front line will come back and that they will be able to put everything to order, meaning that veterans should be appointed to governmental positions. Is it generally real for people who are coming back from the front to occupy governmental positions, or is there a need for retraining for veterans to be able to have managerial jobs? Servicemen and servicewomen are our potential to recover the country, and Olena Zelenska, our First Lady, has already mentioned that we need first to recover people, and then people will be able to recover the country. The same can be told about our veterans. We need to provide all possible tools for them to recover their mental and physical health. And then after the victory, we'll be the country of defenders, of protectors, and people who defended us there on the front line should be integrated in all areas of civil life, including civil service, public activities, economic area, businesses, etc. I would like to make an example. Recently, we visited officially the United States, and there we visited the Department of Labor. 60% of their workers are veterans, and they are proud of this. One of them was a pilot for 20 years. Another person served as an intendant. Others represent Marine troops, and the country is proud of its defenders. Those people who were defenders, protectors on the front line are better aware of the needs of veterans and what can be done to preserve resilience of communities and the nation. And we believe that our defenders are the carriers of our main Ukrainian values. This is wills and dignity, and this is the motto of our ministry. And we believe that the civil sector can only succeed if we can hire our veterans. And this will help us to deal with the challenges that Ukraine have seen with its independence during the first years. I have the question about this project of assisting veterans. Why have you decided to select the mentioned regions as pilot project, and you're here in Odesa? Could Odesa be included in the project? I can explain. Dnipro Oblast is a frontline region, industrial region. There are a lot of veterans, military units, and the well-developed system treating veterans. They have had it since 2014. As for Lviv, the recreation system in Lviv region is very strong, and the communities are well developed there. There are a lot of servicemen there because they recover there after their service. Vinnytsia has also has recreational possibilities, and this is comparing to Dnipro and Lviv, a model of a smaller region, having educational institutions that will be able, that will allow us to train assistants to veterans. And in Mykolaiv, we have already met with the head of the regional administration, and it was discussed that Mykolaiv is also the frontline or ex-frontline region, and there are a lot of families of soldiers, and there is the question how to support families because for around a year they have been living with their relatives. Some have left, and actually there are a lot of problems and mental health problems with the families. So we should focus not only on servicemen and servicewomen, but also on their families. In Odessa region, we have met with the representative of authorities and military administration at different levels. All of us understand the role of the region. The region is large and quite diversified in all areas. We have been finalizing the mentioned decree, and we hope to do this in the nearest future for that pilot project. And the decree envisages the possibility for other regions to join the project if they are interested. We have recently had the meeting with the regional authorities for Odessa to be involved in the process, and I hope that Odessa will also have veteran assistance to support veterans. Are there any other questions from our colleagues? No. Thank you very much for being here with us today. Thank you for your time, and we hope to have you here again with some good news. Thank you. Thank you. That was the briefing of the Minister for Veteran Affairs of Yulia Laputina. The next briefing will be at 4 p.m., and it will be dedicated to the opening of the seaside recreational season in Odessa. To be precise, it will be dedicated to the joint order of the regional administration and to the military. We will discuss how to make it possible, so stay tuned.